I think the most unrealistic thing about this little video here is people with helicopters actually managing to hit their shots. I don't think anyone is going to actually hit anything in those things. So either way, welcome back everybody. Today we're talking about the next lovely Spring Mayhem event here, which, honestly, every event, every year, it comes a little bit of a change this time. That actually does make it fairly interesting. As you can see, we do have a nice updated lineup here. This time actually including our 5th edition, the Helicopter in the background there, as you can see. But still have the classic Artillerist, Tank, the Scout, and the nice level Sniper here, with updated blueprints here, including the big ram legs here, which actually, honestly, might make me use this actual Sniper class here for the first time. But honestly, everyone is going to be playing Helicopter ever since the Helicopter Blade's been taken out of Crossout. Everyone's itching to play that again. And honestly, it does look pretty fun with all those extra crickets on there too. But Heather on the nice Artillerist here, got the Elephant with some autocannons on top here, so not too bad. The Jewels on the Scout again, which actually is probably the most unaffected class of the bunch. And then the Sniper here being probably one of the more exotic and actually Crossout-esque looking builds here. Which is actually kind of funny because the previous Spring Mayhem kind of had much more of a military vibe to this. This one is much more distinctly Crossout in my vibe. And then, of course, the Helicopter, which honestly, everyone's going to be playing that to the absolute limits. So what is the Spring Mayhem event here? So if you don't actually know, it's essentially a team deathmatch where the first team to get to 100 points is the winner here. And points are usually gathered up based around how many kills there are. However, the amount of points you get per kill actually depends on the amount of points you've captured. So if you have 3 points here, it's 1 point plus the 3 capture points, so it's a total of 4 per kill. Or if you only have 1, then it's only 2 points, or if you have 0, then it's just 1. So that's kind of when we kind of calculate the amount of points you get per kill. And there's also 5 blueprints with this car as well, so you can't necessarily bring your own in. Only get the 5 predetermined ones here that we've already gone over. But essentially, it's just that. It's not a very complex mode here. Kill people, give points, yada yada, you win! Beyond that, there's also a nice level challenge associated with this mode here. So come over here, you can actually see you get, win 3 times here, and you get a strategic reserve, which just gives you a little bit of resources here, which I actually wonder, do I have... yes, here we go. So this is the options here you can go with the strategic reserve. So if you want to go ahead and try to get yourself some nice little rewards, there you go. And again, daily challenge, so it resets every day. So try to make sure you get it every day if you kind of want to. Beyond that, they kind of have a huge, complicated, thing here when it comes to leaderboards. But essentially, what they're doing now is that leaderboards for every time you participate in this actual Spring Mayhem battle, instead of it being more or less based around the amount of wins you have and that accumulate towards your points, it actually now takes into account how well you actually performed inside the battle itself. So the better you perform, the more points you get, and there you go. Plus, they actually made away with the point requirement for every battle you enter. So when you used to enter a battle, it would consume a bit of your rating, but now it no longer does that. So these are the couple of objectives here that will improve your score, or if you've been destroyed, that'll also negatively contribute. So there's just positive and negatives that contribute to your overall battle rating, I guess. And then that is used to determine your rank. Beyond that, they've also added an option here, so if you need to exit a battle, you can actually not incur any sort of penalty to your rating here once per day or once every 18 hours. So if there's a reason you guys want to actually go ahead and exit the battle, congratulations, now you can for free. However, they also say not to abuse this, which I find to be absolutely hilarious because, that's the whole point of that thing. Beyond that, when it actually comes to the Spring Mayhem event itself, there actually is a variety of rewards associated with the league. So if you come over here to the Spring Mayhem event, you can actually see a couple of these rewards here for the very highest achieving of players who are getting oodles of epic parts here or legendary parts here. Beyond that, there's also rewards for various tiers that you've managed to get yourself into. So the higher your tier, the more rewards you get. So if you're at gold tier, you get basically everything. If you're at iron tier, then you just get the stickers here. But still fairly nice rewards here with regards to stickers. Plus, I always did like the tactical birch here. I thought it was a very pretty-esque, nice little accessory item here. Plus, if you don't have any of them, it's a nice little way to get a little bit of extra rewards here. Plus, with the crown pinnacle being the solid duck. The soldier duck. Oh, how cute you are. So beyond that, we got ourselves here a nice Treasures of the Wasteland event here, which, again, another mini-season here. So if you're not very familiar with the mini-seasons, they're essentially like the major seasons here, except they have usually much reduced rewards, much reduced levels, still the same cost at $10, but hey, you still get a decent amount of free rewards when it comes to actually blueprints and coins and a little bit of crafting materials, plus some decoration items. So, yeah, not bad. plus to get ourselves a nice little bit of paint here. So let's go over the rewards here real quickly, starting off with the Tempura, a Strategic Reserve level 2, which, not too bad. Looks like we get many Tempuras, though, if you're on the actual paid battle pass here, which I guess kind of makes sense. The Quick Start sticker, which, looks alright. 75 coins for the paid battle pass, a paid blockchain, free 100 engineer badges if you manage to get up there, so not too bad. Oddly enough, though, despite how many I've played these seasons, I've not actually gotten to max level on these mini-seasons yet at all. Beyond that, you got yourself a chimney pipe here, which is actually, I'm not sure if you can actually buy these on the auction house, but I swear I've seen those a bunch. And then the ability to craft the temporas here, which requires just the 2 regular temporas to craft a modified special fused version of it, which you do need the fused versions to actually go ahead and make the fused version of the blockchain, which then is a recipe in the legendary drones here that are also fused themselves. So you got to use the fuse to make the fuse to make even more of the fuses. So it could be a lot of weapons there if you're not being careful. And on top of that, if you want to actually change these fused versions into non-fused versions, you then have to consume it with some of these nice legendary modules here, which not terribly abundant, but hey, cool, why not? A good way to get a little bit of coinage here if you ever wanted to try that. Beyond that, though, we got ourselves here a nice level of a blockchain, fused as well, so it's going to be useful in crafting. Another military reserve, which just gives you access to nice, pretty deadly resources here. It just usually saves you more than a strategic reserve, and I think it's even less than the legendary version, but I don't have any on hand to show you those. Beyond that, some more coins for a paid subscriber. The paid one also get the Flama Secator skin here. It looks very fancy, very night-like, which I'm not sure if the Treasure of the Wasteland, I guess maybe they're trying to go for a night theme. I'm not quite sure, but alright, cool. Beyond that, the Deterioration paint, which doesn't look that bad. I think it actually gives you a very kind of dig this, actually, oddly enough. It definitely works with the Crossout vibe a lot more, and the coloration definitely gives this a lot more of like an industrial vehicle-esque vibe, so actually, I'm all about that. And it's not even that expensive of a paint, too, so very nice. Beyond that, the actual blueprint for the argument, which again just requires base arguments plus a lot of resources, so not very cheap in the absolute slightest, but if you want to get it to a legendary, I guess that's kind of the way you do it. Although to be fair, if you want to make money, probably this wouldn't be the absolute best way to do it. I would just stick with traditional crafting. Beyond that, some free 200 little badges here and a free lovely sticker here. It's an interesting mixture of seasons. It almost seems like a clash of like 4 or 5 different seasons, which I guess kind of makes sense because that's pretty much what it is. These are meant to be the way that you can recycle the old seasons. We got ourselves here. I have no idea how to pronounce this, so we're not even going to try. But yeah, that a spoiler. Beyond that, got ourselves here Fancy Dancy Military Reserve for the free pack. Another paid blockchain. Another free sticker here, which very pink, doing like that. A paid for blueprint for the blockchain, which again, this one just requires temporas, which is kind of nice because you get plenty of that if you have the paid season. Some paid 120 coins, a paid blueprint for... I'm not sure why this looks so weird. It's giving me the blueprint icon for the cabin here, but it looks like it's displaying the drone from the cabin? Huh. Interesting. I wonder if there's a bug associated with the fact that it's a fused cabin recipe that you're getting, as opposed to the traditional non-fused version. So I'm pretty sure that's the drone that pops out of there, but alright, cool. Beyond that, free 200 engineer badges, and the ability to make the Annihilator drone, which this is just the thing that actually pops out of the drone cabin, which never actually got to see that close. It's actually kind of nice looking. I actually don't have that many Annihilator drones because I never got that far into the first season of the game, so nice to see that coming back here. Is it nearly as craftable? No, not really, but it's there. And then, again, with the downgraded version, this is the free version that you can get, that allows you to downgrade your already existing Yokozuna blueprint here and turn it down into a non-fused version so you can sell it on the marketplace for a little bit of coinage. Same thing with this one and this one, with the still one probably being the absolute best one, just because the still one is worth so much right now. Beyond that, we got ourselves some more storage expansion for paid subscribers, 50 free coins, and a nice lovely legendary sticker here, which looks like a modified version of the previous one here that I can't find. Yeah, this one. So essentially just that, but a lot more dense. Very fancy. Again, the downgraded version of the Annihilator, a paid 150 coins, some free engineer badges near the end of the season, and after that you get the temporas indefinitely with the paid season, so very fancy. Still, the fact is, It's not entirely reliant on temporas, which is not really ideal if you want to make like an infinitely generating resource, but I guess it's a way to kind of prevent just, insane value from the season. Get a little bit of skin in the game if you want to actually create this, which I'm actually not sure if someone's actually done the math on this. I actually wonder if it is worth it to actually invest into buying the argument to make a drone to then do it this to actually get the money out of it. Although I guess for people who do not have a lot of the legendary stabilizers, or who do have a lot of legendary stabilizers and it's just taking up inventory space, could be a good use for that. And beyond that, just keep in fact that it is going until May 14th, so keep that in mind. Beyond that, there's a couple of minor updates, extra blueprints from the 4 to 7k power score for AI. And beyond that, the changes to scatter mechanics here. So essentially what it used to be is that if you were moving at all, your reticle would actually widen and your scatter would be less accurate as time would go on. They're actually just at like 1 km/h. So there was no difference between 120 km/h and 1 km/h. Now they kind of changed it so it's much more of a scalar vector. So the faster you're going, generally the worse the spread is going to be. But the slower you're going, the more improved your spread is being. But it doesn't have to go necessarily all the way to 0 to get that really improved reduced spread. So it still actually encourages you to break a little bit if you want to actually get a bit more of a tight shot and do a little bit more damage. So nice little thing to happen here. They've also changed it so that strafing 2 in itself also increases the spread of your scatter shot as well. So they're disincentivizing strafing as much as possible if you're on things like Omnis or Augurs. Beyond that, they changed the physics slightly with a bunch of these structural parts here. So this should be a smidgen easier to go ahead and get a wheel underneath them, which I always appreciate here. You get a nice, tighter, clean looking build. Beyond that, Goliath got a little bit harder to push here, so congratulations for all 5 of you users. Mechanist looks like they added some more attachment points here, which honestly, can never really tell if they really did that, but hey, cool for them. And beyond that, for a lot of the tracks here in Omni Wheels and Augurs, is that essentially they kind of improved it where if you're trying to do like turns, strafing from different directions, like say you were moving forward and you try to strafe, a lot of times that would cause you to suddenly jerk or maybe even stop, or if you were trying to turn on tracks, that would also cause you to break and stop. So hopefully this makes it a bit smoother so you can easily transition from doing turns versus going straight versus strafing. So it makes it a bit easier to actually go ahead and do this. Because that's one of the big things is that when you're actually trying to drive a lot of these Augurs, these tank treads, these Omni wheels, is that if you didn't know how to do these things and you got stuck mid-combat, it would eventually actually slow you down to nearly 0 km/h. And in the middle of a bar fight, it's a bit risky here. It's a bit risky. And then beyond that, there's a bunch of other little minor updates here that you can also take a look at your own leisure. So we'll go ahead, pause it right here, although I do appreciate VSync being on here. Great for screen tearing. Pause it. Get a nice little miscellaneous here, especially with the animations and model updates for the Icaruses. And then some minor bug fixes. They also implemented some music here, so let's take a listen. Very somber. Almost kind of sounds like some new garage music, which I guess it is. So it definitely fits that theme a lot more. Although it gives me strangely coastal vibes for some reason. I'm not sure why. But go ahead and listen to that at your own leisure here. I'm not just going to make this a 5-minute video dedicated to me listening to this, because that would be a very bad reaction channel. But that is most of the major things here with this nice, lovely season. So what is your guys' opinion on this new, lovely Treasures of the Wasteland and Spring Mayhem event? Are you guys a big fan of it? What has your been big pet peeve with it? Or have you guys been playing it? Let me know your thoughts down below. But on that, guys, I want to thank you all for joining this evening. If you guys have had fun, follow our platform is your favorite. We're on that YouTube and we're on that Twitch. We're live streaming both platforms. On the YouTube, we'll have played live stream archives for your viewing pleasure. Beyond that, feel free to become a member today on YouTube for starting at only 99 cents. But beyond that, guys, I want to thank you all again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.